Hello guys, in today's video we are going to jump into people's boxes. We are going to use the ghost trick. So if you haven't watched that video yet, go check it right now. This video took me a lot of time and effort to make, so I'd appreciate if you could watch the whole thing. It's the second episode of this series where I use a random trick 100 times in game to see what I can learn from it. To spice things up this time, we are going to work our way into Champions Arena by using this trick. This is the goal we want to achieve by the end of the video, to become a ghost. This is how the trick works, but in this video we are going to focus on our mistakes and learn from other players. Here you can see his first reaction is to hold the wall. He doesn't see me, so he proceeds to replace the other walls, following a pattern that we could exploit. Wall 1, wall 2, and then a gap before placing wall 3. So we have to test it again. Wall 1, wall 2, then wall 3. So this will be the wall you want to take for piece control. A cone here can also be useful to buy time for the U edit. You can see he has no idea where I am, but you only have 2 seconds to act before the automatic bounce. If you shoot as the crash pad bounces, you will automatically blank your shot. Some people will just run outside. Anticipate by looking through the crash pad. Also remember, you already have a floor above them. Use an edited floor to get out in case something goes wrong. Here I have packet loss and couldn't get in. You can stand on the cone next to the box to prevent getting edited down and to confuse your opponent. You can see that he was not ready because he wasn't sure of what was going to happen next, so he didn't even hold his wall. Here I place an extra floor in case my opponent gets out because he is against a hill. A typical scenario is to make sure your opponent is low on HP before pushing, so you can catch him off guard. If you use it against middle, the breaking animation will make you really hard to see. Always have a good spray weapon to follow up just in case you miss your first pump shot. Your opponent will also get blocked by the pad if he tries to reflex double edit out. Normal counters like an edited cone do not work against this trick. Also, please do not use attack SMG, the AR has way better DPS. In case you're out of crash pads, you can still use the void trick from episode 1. This is going to be a good way to fake out your opponent if you have used all your crash pads. Here's another variation with right hand pick to replace the wall safely, then crash pad in. Also make sure they are out of utility before you jump in. You can use a W to crash pad in both boxes, but I hear him in the left one. You need to angle your crash pad diagonally to break this cone. I show how in the ghost trick video. If the enemy is standing on a cone, the ghost will suck his soul. Not only this will cancel the heal, but the opponent will be stuck unless he crouches. Be careful to not get one pump and get down as soon as possible. Do not worry about your opponent editing and just get in. You should be safe as long as you stay on your right behind the railing. Always go for the box on the right because your opponent has a right pick advantage there. Watch out for edited walls like this, which will not break and you can't replace. If you wait for your opponent to jump, you can 200 pump them easily. Going down like this is not a good idea. Instead, use the elevated right hand peak, go for the box on the right like we've learned, and wait for the jump. Your opponent has a right hand pick here and can easily con you. You now know he is going to use this advantage, that's why you go for the box on the right. Here he was already crouched before the emote and manages to get out quickly. You can again see why the AR is the way to go for DPS. Also watch out, the crash pad will hinder movement. Block the top to prevent him editing out. Then try to sneak behind him. He can still hear a sound, but the surprise effect will give you the advantage for sure. Try to avoid third parties and act fast, or this will happen. In this case, destroy the crash pad as soon as possible or you will get ejected. I'm going for the box on the right. I hear a third party, so I try to make it quick. My opponent looks really agitated, so I decide to jump behind him. If your opponent edits out, you can throw on the railing to disengage. Make sure you don't do it by mistake. You can't shoot through the crash pad. Also, always have another one to get out of this kind of situation. I went through the crash pad, another consequence of an unstable connection, I guess. Do not use your pickaxe to break the pad, you will hit the floor above. You can also phase through cones and ramps, so be careful. If you wait too long for the perfect shot, you will get third-partied, and your target might expand in another box. Your opponent is safe behind the flipped ramp. Another good reason to learn the diagonal ghost trick. I hear someone inside this bush, so I decide to go for a double trick. Remember to use your blueprint to always grab that edit. I use a U-ramp to block the other side and wait for the jump. It doesn't matter if you get boxed, you can crash pad out. I'm going for the right box again. You can see that the railing is blocking the shot. I really need to start using piece control with this trick. You can fully charge your shotgun and also use the phasing to your advantage. You can see he has no idea where I am. I also use the crash pad to jump in his face. That's why you crouch. The charging sound will reveal your position. Use another crash pad to get out. Try not to use it if too low or your opponent will notice you. This edited wall is still a problem. I finally use piece control. I use the same material to avoid him getting out. Be careful not to phase through the middle wall or you will give away your position. We are finally in Champions League. Let's try some piece control. I've tried with the cone, but my opponent always ends up under it. That's why I use a ramp instead. Just try not to shoot your own ramp. Waiting for the jump is really effective. This third party almost got me killed. Do this trick on that side of the zone. If you're wondering why my opponent is shooting literally at a ghost, it's because he can't edit my wall. I of course placed it intentionally. A bit of piece control here again, but I really need to work on my aim. From this angle you can see how much people love crash pads. It's way easier to target isolated players on that side. You've also learned that the crash pad will hinder their movement. Do not use metal, it's easily destructible. That's why you stand on top of a cone. This skin is a good camouflage for metal boxes. Here is an example with perfect timing. This is how you become a ghost, and this is what I've learned. Thank you for watching the video, guys. See you next time.